Everyone, and welcome to the Cannabis News with Rick Thompson on 420 Post. Let's get started. Sometimes my stories are funny and sometimes my stories are biggie. This first story is a biggie, people. A press release issued by the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development yesterday announced that the USDA has approved Michigan's industrial hemp state plan. Implementation of the plan starts December 1st this year. And MDARD said they'll send a series of email updates to hemp growers throughout November regarding the changes. Michigan's industrial hemp program began just last year, but allowed for only an abbreviated growing season then. This year, the pilot program continued with 631 growers and 517 processor handlers registered. This approval on a federal level comes after this year's passage of a hemp bill sponsored by Senator Dan Lawers of Brockway Township. Here's a few key changes that growers need to be aware of before that December 1st effective date. Growers will no longer be able to collect their own samples for submission to MDARD's laboratory for THC analysis. Growers are required to provide a legal description of the property they intend to grow hemp on and have to submit that hemp acreage directly to the USDA's Farm Service Agency. Growers are to harvest their compliant hemp within 15 days of receiving their analysis results. There are new notification requirements and methods for destroying industrial hemp that gets hot or exceeds 0.3% THC. And grower registration applicants must now use an FBI background check tool rather than the previous iChat tool because the feds require criminal history from the entirety of America, not just from our state. But welcome to the new greener world, hemp farmers of Michigan. Congratulations. Hey, more hot news from just this morning. You got 15 bucks? Bet you do. If so, you can register to participate in a virtual forum on the ins and outs of the cannabis industry sponsored by MLive, our in-state news media source. It runs from 2 to 3 p.m. on October 27 by Zoom. The goal is to provide insights into business owners within the industry and provide an avenue for them to network. Executive Director of the Marijuana Regulatory Agency, Andrew Brisboe, will provide the keynote speech because he's the industry insider. There's a half a dozen speakers and a half a dozen companies who've ponied up money to sponsor the event. Sponsors also include Northern Michigan University, which has a cannabis educational program and where I once trod the halls of knowledge. Register on the MLive website. Next story. Canada has recreational cannabis. Mexico is soon to have recreational cannabis too, but the USA, we still don't even have a regulated medical cannabis market nationwide. But that still doesn't make it okay for Canadians to send a half ton of cannabis in a garbage truck to the USA for sale to our friends and family. Yeah, I said it, cannabis in a garbage truck. The big bust happened on October 18th as a truck was crossing the Blue Water Bridge from Sarnia to Port Huron. The load was more than 1,000 pounds of trash weed, but the U.S. Border Patrol in Detroit says they've confiscated more than 9,000 pounds of cannabis from various ports of entry coming into Michigan from Canada in the last 12 months. I've used cannabis which tasted like garbage, and there are people in this industry who basically are garbage, but I've never actually had cannabis which was literally considered garbage. At least, not that I know of. But hey, Canada, just stop. Just stop. Treat the plant better. Treat we the people better. Generally, just stop. Send all your overproduction to Justin Trudeau. He looks like he had a very good time in college. Thank you very much. Here's a story we've been following on the Cannabis News for some time. The Bay Mills Indian Group has fast-tracked their totally independent cannabis industry on tribal lands. They're ready to open their cannabis retail store very soon. How soon? November 6th. That's how soon. The Northern Lights Cannabis Company will begin sales of cannabis in Dafter, a small town just south of Sault Ste. Marie in the UP. Future plans include a tasting room, social club, and destination cannabis events. Here's a quote from the Sioux Evening News. Bay Mills intends to add new locations on its tribal lands throughout Michigan and promote individual and community empowerment. Ultimately, Bay Mills will work to develop an intertribal cooperative where marijuana products produced by Bay Mills are sold by other tribes at tribally owned retail establishments throughout the state of Michigan to benefit their tribal members and community residents. Well, best of luck. Keep moving forward, Bay Mills. Now, last story for today, and one I'm super proud of. The Last Prisoner Project, the Cannabis Caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party, and the Redemption Foundation have partnered together to launch the Michigan Cannabis Prisoner Release Campaign. The goal is the release of prisoners held in Michigan jails for cannabis and cannabis-related crimes. This includes high-profile prisoner Michael Thompson, no relation to me. The campaign was announced via press release just this morning. The fund has already raised $30,000. Proceeds will be used to advocate for and secure the release and record expungement of prisoners like Rudy Gamo, Thompson, and other nonviolent Michigan cannabis folks. The press release includes quotes from Redemption Cannabis' own Ryan Basor, famed television star Montel Williams, and Sarah Gersten, Executive Director and General Counsel of Last Prisoner Project. And the press release lists nearly 30 cannabis businesses or trade associations which have already donated to the campaign. A late addition to the fund is a $1,000 donation coming from Normal of Michigan, the state's oldest and largest cannabis advocacy group. Now, donations of all sizes can be taken via the Last Prisoner Project's website. Details can be found there or on my Facebook page. I find a necessary journalistic disclosure here. I am on the Redemption Foundation's advisory board, and I'm in leadership positions of both Normal of Michigan and the Cannabis Caucus, each of which was mentioned in this report. Now that's it for today's The Cannabis News with Rick Thompson on 420 Post.